two, one.
So, back to the technology show.
It is the technology show where we translate geek into regular speak. I'm Brett Levy. I'm your host this week. Apologies, I seem to be doing a lot of that lately. I know it's been, I think, 2 or 3 weeks since my last show. Unfortunately, a little bit under the weather. Voice is still a little bit rough, a little bit gruff. Hopefully, I don't cough too much, especially for those that are listening to the show, not watching the show. Nothing worse than a great chest cough straight into your headset. Anyway, on with the show. So, what have we got lined up today? It's actually a little bit different to normal. I've lost my slides. There we go. So that should bring it all back up for us. I'm not doing a product review. It's been quite a while since I've actually done an app or software review. So I thought it'd be time to actually do that. And I've actually got a really, really cool piece of software that I'd like to talk about today. It's something I've actually used for quite a while now. And there's an awesome promono. Promono is an awesome promono. There's an awesome promotion on AppSumo. I'll put the link up in the post after the show. You can see I'm a bit rusty. It's definitely been a couple of weeks since I've sat behind a mic with the stumbling I'm doing on my pronunciation. So I'll put the link up in the notes after the show to get you through to there. Big shout out to Alon. Thank you again for sharing with me. But basically, in a nutshell, I got a lifetime license at a ridiculously low price, and it takes a lot for me to buy software. So you got to know that this was a good deal. So what is it? Well, welcome to Rambox. Now, basically, Rambox is a workspace organizer. Think of it as central station. Like if you live in Sydney or any really big city that has a central station, where just everything comes together. So every single app that you want to use on your laptop is all sitting inside one window. And that basically means you never ever have to leave the Rambox window. So working on Gmail, need to add something to Asana, click the Asana icon, boom, there. Need to start a timer. So I use a product called Toggle. It's a timing program. Instead of having to now go open the website, start Toggle, I've got a shortcut there, click it, bang, done. Incoming Discord call, done. Need to follow it up with a WhatsApp message, done. I think you get the gist, right? There's over 700 apps that connect through to Rambox. I don't think I know more than half of them, but I can tell you that pretty much all the ones that I do use are there. If you're watching the show, I've put up a screenshot and it's been redacted a bit so you can't see. But I'll take you through a little bit and I'll describe it for those that are just listening to the show. So along the left-hand side is where you have all your little icons. So what you'll probably see if you look at the screen, there's Messenger, there's Gmail, Evernote, Instagram, WhatsApp, Slack, Discord. So these are things that most people use, right? But what's really interesting, and this is where the pro version comes into it, there's a small little suitcase that's there as well. Now that's your work profile. And you can have multiple work profiles. So if you work in 3 or 4 different work environments, you can configure Rambox to 3 or 4 different tools that you would use. So what that means is that all the tools that I use for that job are listed there. That means 2 Teams logins, 2 Gmail logins, or maybe Outlook for one company, Gmail for another company. It's all there, all within one window. Now, you do have to sign into every single one of those apps again. So I can just hear people going, oh, Brett, but I forgot in all my passwords. Well, you'll have to just do the password reset, but there's no way around that. But once you've logged in once, it's there. It sits there. And then now, the example that I have up on the screen, it's conversation. It looks like one of the collab tools, and actually don't know what tool that is. I think that might be Slack. So yeah, it is. It's one of the Slack channels. So you've got all the different Slack channels there, but it's all inside the window. Now let's say you're having a chat on Slack. Someone needs a Canva design that you've created for them. You've got Canva already there. Click the button, opens up Canva, copy, come back, paste, done. So it's super fantastic. I guarantee that it will save you hours, but you don't have to take my word for it. I've actually saved so much time using Rambox that I probably should have paid for it by now at its full price, but I did say I was a bit of a cheapskate, And I haven't coughed for the monthly or even the lifetime license before. But now, as I said, I was sent an invite, and I will find the link and I will put the link up in the show notes afterwards. But basically, I paid $19 for a lifetime license. It's about $25 Australian, but because I bought it through AppSumo, who's doing the promotion, and I've never bought through AppSumo before, I got 10% off. So yeah, I've ended up paying like 18 American dollars, or just under 18, whatever it was. Can't do the math now. It's a technology show, not the math show. So yeah, so it was like $18 instead of, wait for it, $210. That is what the lifetime license actually costs. So $20, 19, $24, whatever it was, Australian, versus 210, which would be closer to $300 Australian. This will not last long. I promise you, if you don't get over there, and yes, I know I've got to put the link up in the show. I was looking for it. I didn't have it. I will put it up in the show notes. And if I don't find it, I will do a re-edit of the show notes, but it will be there. So please just check in a couple of hours and or tomorrow. It'll be there. But hands down, one of the best productivity tools for me. I thanked Alon again for sharing it with me, and it was like he was going to try it. He didn't see the benefits because he's got all of his tabs open below him. I suppose it depends on how you work. I like to have tons of tabs open on Chrome, but I don't like to have lots of windows open on my Mac, especially when I work in two-screen environments. So this negates that whole need to. And the other thing as well that's important is that, as I said, I work in a two-screen environment, but if I'm traveling or if I'm sitting at a coffee shop and I don't have my nice espresso display, little quick punt there for Scott. We had him on the show a couple of weeks ago. But if I don't have my espresso display with me, or I don't have a second screen with me, by working within one environment, I don't need to jump through multiple windows, which means I don't need to have too many screens running because it's all just a click up and down. So yeah, and then the last thing as well, but I don't know if this is an AppSumo thing. So if you know what AppSumo is, let's give them a little bit of a punt as well. Basically, it's a place to go and buy software that a lot of entrepreneurs use and or recommend. But more importantly, there's always good deals. Like if you subscribe to them, they do like the deal of the day or something, where there's just a really good deal to be had. And that, I think, is obviously how Alon saw the deal and then remember that I'd spoken about Rambox before. But they offer a 60-day money-back guarantee. So, you can pay the $24, you can set it all up. If you don't think it's for you, they're going to give you your money back. So you really don't have a risk. I don't think that you will not use it. I mean, just role play it for a few seconds, right? Do you have WhatsApp? Do you have Facebook? Do you have email? Do you use Word or any of the Office Suite products? And do you use a calendar? If the answer is yes to all of those, that's 5 or 6 windows that you have to have open up on your machine. These are just little tabs, and you just move up and down, up and down. There it is. So yeah, Rambox. By the way, there is a free version. I've been using the free version. The free version has its limitations. One of them being that you can only be signed into one machine at a time. So for example, I can be at work, open up my Rambox environment, and all my apps that I have from home and home internet accounts and so on are now with me at work. And vice versa, right? I can have a work profile now in Rambox and open it up at home and have all my work stuff with me. So that alone is a huge benefit. I don't have to carry 2 machines. But also, I lost my train of thought. Oh, so you can't do that in the free version, only one machine at a time. If you try log in one place, it's going to log you out elsewhere. And I think if it does that, you have to sign into all your apps again. So that's a bit shitty. And then the other thing is you are limited. So for example, you can't have 2 Microsoft accounts or 2 Gmail accounts. You can only have 1 Gmail account. I have 4 Gmail accounts. So with the Pro version, I can spin up additional windows and put in one of each of the different Gmail accounts so that I can actually now hop between my Gmail accounts as opposed to just having to open up the 4 different mail browsers on Chrome. So yeah, that's Rambox. I've been a long time fan. For those of you that have used things like, I think it's France 5 or an American Franz 5, Station got into a bit of trouble. It sounds like there was a bit of malware or backdoorware behind it, so they got shut down. I'd actually specified Station as one of my app of the weeks many years ago. So I've always used a productivity app. That's what I'm saying. So yeah, a question has come through. Does it work on iOS and Android? Neither. So it's not an app. It's a great question, actually. And if Rambox is listening, and I'll tag them, that would be the absolutely holiest of holy grails and silver bullets if they could make an app. I think it's just too heavy on resources, though. You've got all these really big programs that are running inside the environment. So I don't know if an app can support that. So no, it doesn't run on either of them, to the question. But what is nice, and as I said, it does use a lot of resources. So if anyone was thinking of asking the question, I'll just volunteer it. It does actually let you put the apps to sleep if you're not using them. You can turn that feature off if you want to keep them always on. But if you want to save your CPU and your memory, you can actually put apps to sleep. It puts a little like green leaf to show that's in economy mode. Click it, it says wake up, hit wake up, you're back in again. It's all good. You don't have to re-sign in again. It's just sleeping and freeing up your CPU usage. So yeah, that's things with a Z for a change. And let's get back onto, or let's carry on now with some tech news. So if you're watching, I love this image. It says goodbye if you're not watching the show. And the second O of goodbye is the little button that we all knew and loved with a little square, the round circle with a little square in that every iPhone, iPod, and iPad had for many, many years. Goodbye is now Apple no longer makes a device with a button. The entry level iPad, I think it's 10 gen or 11th gen, no longer has a button. And now the iPhone SE has been replaced with the 16E. Um, I have put a picture up of it. So basically, from the front, it looks like the other iPhones. It's got the little notch in the top, no button on the front. The back's a giveaway, like its predecessors. The 16E only has one camera, whereas all 16s or 15s or 14s have two, and the Pros have three. So you're still getting an entry-level device. It's capable. I looked at some of the specs on it. It looks like a great little device. It's got a really good processor in it, so it will definitely handle the loads, but obviously not designed for cameras or camera technology. So yeah, goodbye. Apple no longer has buttons. Everything is 100% touchscreen and or face unlock. So the other thing that Apple announced this week is the MacBook Air has now come up with an M4 processor. So that's pretty cool. They've only just really done the M3, if I remember correctly. So yeah, that's the news on that side. What do we got? Okay, so I'm staying with phones, and I'm not sure about this, but hey, I'm not the clever people at Deutsche Telekom. So Deutsche Telekom, who I think is AT&T, if I'm not mistaken, in America, but they have partnered with Perplexity. Now, Perplexity is it's quite an interesting AI tool. So you've got Claude and Perplexity and ChatGPT and Gemini. There's a few of them going around there. Perplexity is definitely up there. They've partnered to develop an AI phone. So basically, this will have Perplexity's AI integrated into the system. I'm assuming it'll be Android, that then has Perplexity AI as its operating system, or some might call it bloatware. But users will be able to interact with the phone's AI assistant even on the lock screen. Now, that's quite cool. If you use any of the other devices, you have to unlock your phone to actually then do something. So even on the lock screen, the AI tool will be there. The phone will also, and this is all, I'm reading this, right? This is what they've released. The phone will also offer access to various AI providers. So you will be able to use your chat GPTs or Geminis, I assume, if that's your preference. It'll have some agentic capabilities, but we don't know yet how it will execute these tasks. So that hasn't been shared. They say the phone will be officially launched in the second half of this year, and it should be priced under $1,000. I'm assuming that's US, and it's going to hit the shelves some point 2026. So that was a bit vague and a bit iffy. It is news. I think with the way AI is going and the fact that it has it on its lock screen, so basically pick up the device and talk to it, and it will do and render everything it needs to do without actually touching. I do like that. I think that's a great feature. I'm not sure that a Google with its Pixel and Samsung with its Galaxies, and even Apple with Apple Intelligence couldn't do the same thing. The question is, when you're starting to talk about $1,000 plus, you're now in the top end of mid and or entry level flagship model. And we have choice and we have legacy. And many people have come before to try and eat Samsung and Apple's lunch and have not done that well. I mean, if you look at Google Pixels, and I love my Pixels, their pricing points try and keep it at that mark and or just below for that exact reason, so that people consider them to be top-end mid-tier devices that are very capable as premium devices, along with their pros, which are obviously fully capable and top-end phones. But even that, in the power of Google, they're not really eating Samsung and Apple's lunch. So yeah, let's see how that plays out. Maybe it's one of those disruption things that are just, hey, setting the way. But let's see. Right, rest in peace, Skype. Now, Microsoft has said they're going to sunset Skype on the 5th of May. That's after Star Wars Day, May the 4th. Oh, come on, Brett. Come on, people. Laugh at that one. I was trying to be a little bit nerdy there. You will now have to use Teams. So let me rephrase that. You as in you listening, watching, you can use Teams. I hate Teams. I'm not a huge Microsoft fan, as you know, so I'm definitely not going to be using Teams. And we have choices, so thanks for the fish. But there is a free version of Teams for all those people saying, oh, it's a money grab. No, they're not making a money grab. They've taken the learnings of Skype. Bearing in mind, Skype was first launched in 2010. So, it's a tool that's been going for 14 years. I actually saw that the little app icon was actually still on my iPad the other day. I haven't used in ages. I know that they've taken the ringtone from Skype, which was always really unique and cool, and they use that in Teams now. But yeah, so if you are using if you're using Skype as your primary video calling tool, why? But if you are, you are going to need to change. So just please bear that in mind. I've got things popping up all over my screen here. So yeah, that's the news from Skype. And what else have we got? Is there more? Okay. I do like this story, a little bit freaky. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty scary. And if you're not watching, you won't. On my screen, I've got a picture of a Pixel 3 watch that says no pulse detected, calling emergency services in 18, and it's got a countdown going. So where I say it's pretty cool or scary, I get to review a lot of Google super cool tech, and I'm a big fan. And the Pixel Watch is my swimming companion, so it's a big part of my fitness regime. What's cool or scary is that the FDA has just cleared what Google calls a loss of pulse, and yes, it will detect if you have died. That's basically it. The Pixel Watches 3 basically uses a complex algorithm that will determine whether someone is purposely moving, and when it detects no pulse. Now, if you take off your watch, that doesn't count, right? It's not going to go into panic mode. But if it doesn't detect a pulse and the watch is still attached to you, I'm not sure how that works. That's an algorithm, but anyway, it's not going to think you're having a heart attack, right? So take your watch off, put it on the charger, you're fine, or for whatever reason. But there are redundancies also, just in case. So and maybe this will happen if you take your watch off. I haven't seen the feature yet, but a prompt will appear like the one I described and I'm showing on the screen, basically that says, are you okay? Like it's basically saying it hasn't detected a pulse. It'll check and see if you're okay. You can clear it. If you're unresponsive, then the watch will contact emergency services, and it'll also play audio. So through its little speaker, it'll actually play audio so that maybe potential bystanders can come and intervene and start CPR. Whatever it is it's going to do, I think it's freaking brilliant. Really, really clever innovation. I know that it was talked about last year when the Pixel 3 was launched, but without FDA approval, you can never do it. We had the same thing with ECG monitors on phones. I remember Apple had it for probably about a year, maybe even 1.5 years before the Australia Medical Board approved it. So I don't know if it's been approved in Australia yet, but the FDA is American. They've approved it. Generally, when they approve stuff, it doesn't take too long before the UK and Australia come online. So let's see what happens. But yeah, I thought that was super cool. Nice way to finish off the tech news section. And when people go, "Well, why should I have a smartwatch?" Besides seniors, for fall detection, which is great, and besides obviously using it for health. And as I said, I use mine for swimming to test out my laps and heart rate and all those good things. This is really cool, right? People die, and maybe they could be resuscitated. So if the watch can save one person, it's already done an incredible job. So well done. Right, are you game? This is not going to be what you expected. And no, I'm not about to give an excuse that I have been busy and I haven't been playing games. I have been playing games. But what I've done is I put the can you make money from playing games to the test. So have you seen all those adverts that come up? If you're watching the screen, I've got one up on the screen as well. You get all these adverts that come through that like solitaire, for example. Play solitaire, win real money, blah, blah, blah. I've always wanted to know if you really can. And the answer is yes, you actually can win money. And I have. There is a catch. So I tried two different types. I'm going to start with the first one, and that's the one that I've got up the screen. It was called Solitaire Cash. As you would think, you play solitaire. But if you want to win money, you have to buy these like entry tickets, let's call them tokens or coins. I don't know what their mechanic is, but you have to enter, right? So let's say it costs 7 entry tickets, and then you can win up to $7, or 20 entry tickets, and you can play for a pot of $70. So you can win money, and people do win money. And I have won money. I actually did on the solitaire one, I did the free version. I think I've got about $2 or something in there. You can't draw it out until it's like at $10, so that was a catch. But if I had paid and I'd won $7 plus a couple of free ones that they use to train you, I would have had the $10 anyway. But it is what it is. To me, though, it's still gambling because I still have to pay money to actually have enough tickets to actually enter to win the decent pots, right? So, yeah, it's gambling. I'm not sure how they get away with it, but they're doing it at the moment. The second one that I mentioned, this was a bit more interesting. So I've changed the screen as well, and if you're looking at it, this actually came from an email that I received from Shopback. Now, Shopback, if you don't know what Shopback is, Shopback, and I'll put a link up on the screen afterwards as well, but just go to shopback.com, I guess. But Shopback is you create a Shopback account, and anytime you want to shop online, go to Shopback first, see if that store. So, for example, Amazon always offers like 5 or 6% cash back. But you have to click through the Shopback app first or have the little plugin on your Chrome browser. And it works. I've got over $1,000 back from Shopback. I feel like Shopback sponsoring the show. Today's Technology Show brought to you by Shopback, where you can get cash back for your shoppings. Go to shopback.com/technology. Nah, okay, I'll stop there. I'm not sponsored by Shopback. This is just me reading and playing. I've got no affiliate to Shopback. I feel like I have to do another disclaimer now. But basically, I got this email that came through that said it's called Shopback Play. It gave you a list of about 3 games to choose from. You have to play the games. And if you do this, you win. And I won. I got about $1.37 for about 15 to 30 minutes. I don't know, maybe 30 minutes. Sounds like a lot, but I play games every day. I play games to like get my ADHD back into order, to just like when I'm on a boring call, when people are listening to the technology show, that's when you play games. But out of the 15 minutes, I reckon out of 30 minutes is probably like 10 minutes of gameplay and 20 minutes of them trying to sell me stuff. So I get it, right? It's a free game. You don't have to buy anything. The one that I chose out of the 3 or 4 choices I had was Coin Master. It looks like a one-armed bandit, and these little things spin, and if you line up, you get coins, and then you can use your coins to like try and use lightning bolts to get money from other people. And once you got money, you can, well, I don't know, you get money to spin again. It's like it's a circular game. It just goes round and round and round and round. I'm sure if you played for like 2 hours or 3 hours, you get more money. But the whole thing behind it, and this is where the genius part comes into it. So well done to, I think, the companies Moonbase and or Shopback that put this all together. People are going to want to just get through it because, like, every action you do, there's about 3 bloody screens that appear that you got to link clear afterwards that are trying to sell you stuff. Spend $1.99 and get 100 spins, or get 200 million thousand coins, or whatever it might be. So they keep trying to sell you stuff. So they're probably going to get their Shopback money from you through ad revenue, because they can sell adverts, and now they can go to advertise and say, hey, we've got 1 million game players. Or B, you might actually choose to buy some of these coins or spins or tokens or gems or whatever it might be that it is that they're selling you. So yeah, that's how it works. But the bottom line is, they I don't know, they're not trying to sell you the recipe to Coca-Cola. They're just trying to sell you stuff. So they generally don't have too many ads running there. The bottom line is, the question is, can you make money playing games? Yes, you can. Do you have to pay money to earn money? In some instances. In this the Shopback cashback instance, definitely not. I've got about $1.07 and $1.37. I think I played 4 times. So I got about like $6 that will go into my Shopback account. So yeah, the simple answer is yes. But yeah, you're not going to get wealthy. Don't give up your day job to play games. And I think that takes us to the end of Are You Game? It does. So finishing off with Q&A, I spoke about phones and phone capabilities. So I think I'm going to do this one. This was quite a good one. This is, I need a new phone. Should I wait till October when the new models come out? So we're talking about the new phones. We were talking about what was it? I've already forgotten. Deutsche Telekom's perplexity AI phone, and so on and so on. So yeah, should I get a new phone till October? As I said, I get this question all the time, like all the time. And the answer is very simple. Buy a phone when you need a phone. There's not a right or a wrong time to get a new phone. In fact, I'm the first person that wants to get nice, new, shiny toys, right? The question, though, is always with tech. Tech is always coming out. So the question was, do I wait till October? Obviously, they're referencing when the new iPhone will potentially come out, or the new Samsung phone, or even the new Pixel phone. They always come out roughly September, October-ish. That's kind of when they announce these phones, just in time for Christmas, Black Friday, etc., etc. Makes sense. So the only reason I would wait till then is because you don't need a new phone and your phone's fine, and then you want a new phone, and it's now time to get a new phone. But like I said, get a new phone when you need a new phone, not when you want a new phone. So if your phone's smashed or whatever, can you wait till October? Probably not. The good news, though, and this is why I do like to repeat this question on the show every now and then, because I do get it quite a few times. The question, the thing to remember, sorry, not the question, is basically most phone brands nowadays will give you about 5 to 7 years of software updates. That's longer than most people will keep their phones, even in a hand-me-down cycle. If you keep your phone for 2 years and you hand it down for another 2 years, then that means in year 5, you're handing down your next phone already. So if there's a 5 to 7 year software update, you're pretty cool. You're pretty safe. So yeah, I would say buy technology, and this applies to all technology, because here's the thing, right? Even if you wait until September, October, the day after a new phone's coming out, or the next month or whatever, technology changes all the time. So it's always going to be outdated. Why I would advocate to wait for September, October is there is going to be the latest and greatest, and that's going to be the latest and greatest of the big flagship models for probably another 9 months to a year before the next announcements come out. But your current phone will support whatever that software is. It might not have some of the hardware features, but it will support the software. So yeah, hopefully that answers that question again. I think that's pretty much it. I don't see anything else that's come through. Yeah, so I have put up on the screen recording in the We Love Marketing podcast studio. It's a great little place. If you are looking to do some podcasts and you're up here on the Gold Coast, definitely a spot to consider. Reach out to me. I'll share some details with you. But that takes us to the end of the show. So until next time, keep your screens clean and your knobs shiny.